Oh, we've done really well with it for a lead source. In fact, I was gone last weekend and I came back and I had 5 appointments booked on Monday and they were all TikTok leads.
Dang, nice. Now, what about the Medicare side of things? Because the health insurance side, I can believe it more because there's a lot more people that are younger on there. But what about the Medicare age stuff? Have you got any?
It's about initially I was getting all Medicare, wasn't getting
Oh,
any health insurance. And
oh,
then I started doing some health insurance videos too. So now we're getting a mix.
nice. Okay, so there's definitely right there. Hey, I just took a tip out of the grassroots there. She just gave it to you. So TikTok 101 right there. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me today. I have a really special guest, my awesome friend, Rebecca Davis, the Medicare Wonder Woman. How are you doing today, Rebecca?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing so good. I'm happy that you're on here today because we got a few things to talk about. You got a lot going on, and I want to make sure that the audience gets to hear all about some of the cool stuff that's happening. So, first and foremost, now I'm gonna be able to tag the word author, right, as part of all the amazing things that you're doing. So you have a new book out, right? We have it called 101 Grassroots Marketing Tips and Tricks. And one of the main questions that I wanted to ask is this book here is good for not just the Medicare industry, but the healthcare industry. Tell me all the industries that this applies to, because I think everybody wants to hear that part.
Well, I am super excited about the book and I'm so overwhelmed by the response. First and foremost, our industry is so amazing and thank you everybody that's supporting it. But I believe the book is good for more than just even our industry. I mean, it's great for Medicare. Obviously, that's kind of what I wrote it around, but we've used a lot of those events for under 65 health, just family. You could use the book for life insurance. You could use it for PNC. But even outside of insurance, you could tweak these. And I think they would work amazing for like real estate and mortgage brokers, anybody that really just needs to get in front of people and doing it organically and building that relationship. I think you can use it for any industry. You just may have to tweak the tip just a little bit because, you know, some of the tips I have compliance rules and stuff on.
Yeah.
So you obviously don't need to worry about those, or maybe you have different rules you have to worry about. But so they're all interchangeable, tweakable. I mean, the idea was just to get your mind and your juices flowing. And you may see, you know, tip number 52 and you're like, oh, I love that, but I'd rather spin it this way. And that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's the idea of the book. It's really just to get your mind open to other avenues that you can generate leads with.
You know, one of the things that I felt was pretty powerful was a story you just told me. I want you to tell the audience the story about your editor who was going through your book. Tell us that cool story.
So yeah, when I sent my book over to get edited, the lady was going through it and she sent my publisher a message saying, hey, I'm not done with the book yet, but I wanted to let you know that I've used 2 of the tips at my local church and they work like a charm. So she was using my book even before she was done editing it.
That's
And
all.
it was working for her. I mean, when I heard that, I was like, that was the best news ever. Cause I mean, she's obviously not in the insurance business. And, you know, like it said, it was working for her just as well as it works for us.
And you can find your book where?
Right now it's on Amazon. So you can get on Amazon, or if you're coming to 8% Nation, you can get it at my booth.
Awesome. So I know that there's going to be a few people at 8% that have brought out books recently. I'm going to come back with a collection. I think I'm going to first and foremost want to get yours. Let's talk real quick. You go to Amazon. How much does the book cost?
Well, I have it, I think at like $20 or 19 something. But depending on Amazon, it changes. Like I was on there one day, I'm like, oh, I didn't know I put my book on sale. So I guess Amazon does their own things just to do whatever. I asked my publisher about it. She's like, oh yeah, that's normal. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So I'm so new to this. I didn't know they did things like that. So, you know, you can buy it for regular price, or, you know, you might wait a day and it might be a few dollars cheaper.
Well, that's the point here is that for a lot of people who are struggling to get in front of people, this book you invest $20 into, and now you have 101 different ways of how to get in front of people. I'm sure there's a lot of different ways how to get in front of people. And the reason it's grassroots is because a lot of times there's no there's no financial equity involved. It's just more sweat equity, right? Meaning you're physically going to have to do something to be able to get in front of people. Am I understanding that correctly?
Oh, absolutely, Eric. So the whole idea of the book is to have either no cost or minimal cost in the event, where, if you do a mail drop, you're spending at least $1,000. Or if you're doing a seminar, you're spending like $5,000 to get people in the seat. So the idea is, low cost or minimal cost. Some tips, absolutely no cost, is 100% sweat equity. And some of the stuff you can get carriers involved. So if there is a little bit of cost, you can get that carrier to pick it up. And, we talk about that in the book. And and my idea too of Grassroots is just making relationships. So we even have like Grassroot techniques for social media, like for TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and things like that, and YouTube. Because in my opinion, if you're putting yourself out there to create a relationship, to create a bond with somebody, that is a Grassroot tip. It's not cold. It's not a piece of mail you just got back. It is a warm market type thing, because once you make that relationship, then they're your warm market and not your cold market. So anything to create a relationship, in my opinion, is a Grassroots tip as well.
So since you're pretty active on TikTok, then let me ask you a couple of questions in regards to that. First, I know it's a pretty good hotbed for finding insurance agents. There's a lot of people who are the age range of an insurance agent that are browsing TikTok. What's it like for finding people that are looking for health insurance?
We've done really well with it for a lead source. In fact, I was gone last weekend and I came back and I had 5 appointments booked on Monday and they were all TikTok leads.
Dang, nice. Now, what about the Medicare side of things? Because the health insurance side, I can believe it more because there's a lot more people that are younger on there. But what about the Medicare age stuff? Have you gotten any?
It's about, initially I was getting all Medicare. I wasn't getting any health insurance. And then I started doing some health insurance videos too. So now we're getting a mix.
Nice. Okay. So there's definitely right there. Hey, I just took a tip out of the Grassroots there. She just gave it to you. So TikTok 101 right there. The other thing that's coming up for you is 8% Nation this week. There's going to be a lot of us out there at 8%, and you're going to be doing a breakout session. So what's the focus of your breakout session?
So my breakout is going to be geared towards the new agent, maybe the agent that just got licensed and doesn't have a clue what to do next. So it's called Starting at Ground Zero, how to get up and running with minimal costs from CRMs to lead generation. So it's going to have to move quickly because we're going to get so much time, because I have a lot of bullet points I want to address. But it's basically, where you can find CRMs, where you can find calendars, where you can find dialers, where you can find leads, and not spending money or very little money, because when you're a brand new agent, unless you have a bunch of savings or have a spouse in the house that's working and doesn't mind you spending it to grow your business, you don't have any money.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest struggle with new agents. They quit their job or they're trying to work part-time and do this because they have no extra money. So the idea is to get an agent up and running with minimal to no cost.
Amen. I like that. So on top of that, you also have a group, a new membership group. I don't know if it's new, right? But you have the WIIN membership group for it's a ladies group, ladies only. But tell us a little bit more about what goes on in that group and what it's all about.
So Club WIIN, Women in Insurance Niches, going to 8% these last few years has really put something in my brain, because we see all these great men on stage that are highly successful. And then we may only have like 1 or 2 ladies putting themselves out there, for whatever reason. We only have a couple. And I'm like, and there's a void. There was a void. So I come up with Club WIIN. Me and my partner, Faye Horton, do Club WIIN together. And we started it in February. And it is a membership group geared towards women only, where we train on 4 insurance niches. So Medicare, final expense life insurance, Obamacare under 65, and ancillary products. So basically everything on the life and health spectrum. And they're live weekly calls. We have a private Facebook group. We have, some private back end stuff that goes on. We're going to be planning a retreat for next year. Hopefully by then all COVID will be done and we can do something really great for the women with a retreat next year. And it has really taken off. When I first started it, we invited a few ladies to be a part of it, kind of like our experts to help us launch the group. And Galen Hendricks is one, Victoria Cabanero, Myra Luna, Anna, oh gosh, I can't remember Anna's last name. Sorry, Anna. And then me and Faye. And we all, really dig deep into our specialty areas. So when we're talking about a specific thing like bundling, of course, we have Galen come in and help us run that. We use Myra Luna and myself a lot for, ACA when we dig into that. And then me and Faye and Victoria handle the Medicare. And then Faye and Anna, oh, sorry.
No worries.
Faye and Anna, they handle all the life and final expense stuff. And it's really great. So we kind of, take turns speaking and training, and we have it recorded so you can go back and watch it. We do mini books out of it. We've done some special trainings out of it, not for just the ladies, but for the men too. A couple weeks ago, me and Faye did an open training for everyone. On a weekend, just to create some buzz and some more training out there, because the men do reach out to us. They want to be part. So, but we are keeping the group specifically women only, but we do public stuff every now and again that's open to everybody.
Yeah, right on. As I say, I feel a little bit left out. I mean, so, but I'm glad you have those. So as long as you do those every now and then, that's helps us to get in on that. I mean, but yeah, the good thing is that it sounds like you have a wealth of knowledge within that group. And I think even the men want to participate in that, because we do look up to you women as well, because you're successful in what you're doing. And we want to see like, hey, what maybe can we integrate into our practice that you're doing? Because again, the knowledge that's out there, it's plentiful, and you're 100% correct that there was a void, but I've seen recently that there are quite a few women's groups that are coming together, and I'm seeing more and more of ladies stepping up to the plate to show that, hey, we're in this business, we're rocking this business, we want to show you how to do the same thing. And so I really commend you guys for doing that. Is there any cost to membership to be part of the WIIN group? So
it is a monthly membership fee, or you can pay annually for a discounted price. We just spend so much time in there, away from our own agents and our own team. We had to do something. And plus we're saving the money, to do retreats and stuff in the future with, so that way it doesn't cost the ladies a lot of money to come to those things. Because I know, and some of the reason we formed it is because as great as the men are in the business, especially so many of them that I met, you guys don't have some of the same challenges those we have as women. We're moms, we're wives, I work a 12, 14-hour day, and then I got to go home and still cook dinner for the family and, do bath time and bedtime stories and homework. Where most men, not all men, because I know there's some single dads out there and some very highly involved dads, but the majority of men, when they leave the house to go to the office, they turn the home life off and they can focus on their job or their business until they go home and turn it back on. Well, us women, we never turn that home life off. We can't. I mean, right now, my son's in the office at summer break. He's here creating a mess, probably somewhere back there that I'm going to have to clean up in a little bit before the next appointment walks in. So we do face some different challenges, and even our selling techniques are different. And, women have some God-given gifts that they really need to be proud to use when it comes to selling. I'm not saying go to extreme or anything, but by God, if I smile a little bit extra to make that sale, why not? I mean, that is our God-given talent, right? Bat those eyelashes a little bit. And then, we need a safe place to talk about that and be okay with it, and bounce those different ideas off each other. And I am so thrilled to see all these women standing up and stepping out. And I would really love, I don't know if I did, or if it's just all Galen or what, but I would really like to think some of that is because we have been standing behind these women and pushing them to stand up and stand out and be proud and share with the world what they're doing.
Yeah, man, 100%. I think that what I like about, what you're saying is something that needs to be said. there should be no shame in the fact that there are some advantages that women will have. Why not strengthen those advantages, utilize them to your gain? There's nothing wrong with doing that. I told people that all the time. Any agents that I would be hiring in my call center, I would tell them the same thing. Like, you are going to be able to keep someone on the phone better and longer than most men will. It's harder, especially if you're talking to a male, it'll be harder for them to say no to you or to hang up on you. It's just different. I don't know what it is. It's just different. So why not take advantage of it? It sounds like you're training really well on making sure to take advantage of that. And that's beautiful, because I did it. That's how I was training any of the ladies that were working with me, because I wanted to make sure that they had their best foot forward and that they can get as many applications and as many relationships going as possible. And it works. It works 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in phone sales. I rarely get hung up on. Now I'll get told no, or I don't need it, or I have it. Don't get me wrong, but I do not get hung up on. They're not generally jack butt with me, but then, they'll say something and I'll laugh at their stupid joke. I'm like, oh, that's so funny, Bob. You crack me up, and that old man just eats that up. But, what's wrong with that? He feels good. You feel good. And you continue the conversation.
100%. 100%. It's a superpower that I wish I had, but hey, it's like I said, you guys are doing it right. And I think, a lot of times when I do think about people who have done so well in our industry, I mean, I've been a longtime friend of Galen Hendricks. Looking forward to seeing her at 8%. I'm probably going to do an interview with her there. I haven't done one in a while, but she is definitely somebody who has been a trailblazer in our industry. Back even in the days when I was focused as in the recruiting world, I would compete with her agency, but we were still friends. Like, we still got along. We got to meet each other on trips, on conventions, had lunches together, always got along so well. And that relationship has only strengthened throughout time. So it's definitely great to see someone like Galen, who's going to be up on the main stage at 8% this year as well, continuing to represent you ladies. And it was so many. I mean, I've seen the breakouts that are coming about through 8%. And there's so many ladies this year who are stepping up and doing breakouts. And I'm really excited to go and see a lot of you guys' breakout sessions.
We're thrilled about it. We've been trying to strategize to how to support all the ladies too. Like, mine is like at 8 o'clock on Sunday, and then Emily Trevino's is right after mine at the next session, and then Amy is the last one. And we're trying to figure out how to get to all theirs, and then also see the ones that we feel like focuses on our business too. So you'll see a group of us women running around with our chickens with their heads off, trying to support each other and also get the information we need too. I've heard Amy is going to be talking about her story. She was at 8% last year, and she's the lady that ate fire, if nobody realizes that. And in that moment, she told me at another deal we were at that they said that Marshall said it would change her life.
Yeah.
And she said it absolutely did. She could not believe, looking back, how much that did change your life. And she's going to be talking about that in her breakout session, from what I understand. And I mean, that's exciting stuff. And I mean, and you're right. Galen is the original trailblazer, and she is amazing. And she gives other women permission to stand up, to be women, to be badass, to be hard, but yet still be women and find our way in this business. And, she did that for me, watching her on stage, as being the only woman up there really in our industry, just told me, we need more women like her. I mean, it's amazing we have her, but she can't single-handedly do this alone. She needs help. And, and I'm hoping that, our club WIIN and promoting the women and helping the women grow, I'm hoping I'm helping that along.
I absolutely think you are. And I think that the more support that you guys garner over time, there's going to be a point where it's just it's a no-brainer. I think that you'll see an equal amount of women on the stages as you do men. And I'm really excited to see that.
We are too. They say, I think the stat is 52% of insurance agents are women. but you don't know who they are because most of them are in the back office, especially if you go to PNC agencies, they're all your service people. But, they've been in the industry for 20 and 30 years. I mean, they need to be known because they know all the secrets, guys. I remember when I worked at State Farm, there's a lady that worked there for 20 years and she knew all the secrets. I learned so much from that woman. And she was in the back office and really, kind of hidden from the world. And that's not right because she knew more than anybody else all put together in that office. She needed to be highlighted and brought forward with her expertise.
It's funny that speaking about State Farm, that's actually one of the first places I got started. I worked for an agent who had an all-female office. And I had only been married for a year at the time. And so I joined this organization. It's I think there was probably 6 other ladies in the office, all ladies. And they had been that way for a long time. So I was the first male to come in. Why she hired me, I don't know. But I went in there to do sales, and it was just a crazy environment to be surrounded because it's a different energy when you're just around all women, because I hadn't been used to that. I haven't grown up in that arena where, in my family, it was me, my mom, my brother for the most part. Then we lived with my aunt for a little while, but that's adding on 2 more males in there, plus my aunt and her daughter. So it wasn't ever where there was majority women and less men. But in that environment, it was just so different, but awesome. It was just a great experience to see and understand how women work on the back, like the stuff that they gossip about, because they didn't care that I was there at that point. They had been so used to being themselves. Like the way they gossip was so different. I was just like, wow, okay, this is what you think about dudes, huh?
So it's so funny you bring that up because now I have a mixed downline, as many men as women, but in the office, it has always been women only. I didn't initially plan it that way, but it just worked out that way. Well, a few months ago, I hired my first guy for the office. He's very young. He's like 22, 23. He's married, a wonderful person. In fact, right now he's in Costa Rica on a mission trip. And he sits kind of like right in the middle of the office so he can hear it all. And he's young too, right? And we're all us women in the office are in the over 40 club. So yeah, some of the stuff we talk about, especially if nobody else is in the office and nobody's on the phone. I mean, yeah, I look over because right now, until I'm moving into my private office this week, but right now our desks are across from each other and I can hear the chatter, and I look up over my computer at him and he's just down there like working, just shaking his head, cracking up. It is so funny, but he is such a light to bring in because now it kind of adds a little more depth to our office and mix it up a little bit for us too. So I really enjoy having him here, and I'm trying to find, in fact, another younger male sales guy to bring in there so they would have a little camaraderie as well. Well, I'm trying to find several people, but I'm specifically looking for another younger gentleman that fits kind of like him, because I think he could use that, because right now he's like ganged up on by all women.
Well, so for anyone who's listening, tell the audience what area your office is in case they're interested, that they might want to talk to you about opportunities.
Well, we are located in Stephenville, Texas, which is about an about an hour 45 minutes from DFW Airport, depending on how fast you drive. We are southwest, so kind of between DFW and Abilene and a little bit south. We're in small town America. This town is actually known as rodeo capital of the world because all the professional bull riders and steer roping guys all live here. And there's a whole bunch of cutting horse people, which is what I used to do and why I landed here before I got hurt. So cowboy town, very big cowboy town.
Let's rewind. Did you say you used to be in the rodeo when you were younger?
Well, I showed cutting horses. I'm in the Hall of Fame by the time I was 16 for showing cutting horses. And when I was 23, right after we moved here, we actually moved to Texas partially for my career in the business because I was killing it. And I wrecked my car. I flipped my car 7 times end over end and broke pretty much everything from my neck to my butt. And it ended that career pretty instantly. And so So yes, so this is a huge town for rodeo, horse people in general. Tarleton State University is here. That's a big kind of business ag school. If you know of Tarleton University, used to be an old military school, but now it's a business ag school.
Wow. So that accident had you change careers basically. And that, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. What you just said, you broke your neck from your neck down to your butt. I mean, what was the recovery time like on that injury?
Well, I mean, I was in the ICU for a week and then they sent me home and basically body braces. They wanted to put like a halo on me, but I was a 23-year-old female at the time. And I was like, you're not drilling bolts into my head. I'm like, I promise I'll hold really still.
Oh, yeah.
So I wore this huge neck brace for months on end. In fact, when I took it off, like, you know, those old pictures of people in Africa that have the really skinny necks that's what my neck looked like when I took it off because it had been like stretched out like for all this time. And so that was 23. I was 3 years before I was able to get back on a horse again. And then I tried showing again. I showed a little bit here and there, but nothing like I was doing before. I mean, I was basically on the path to be a professional at it. I had won several $100,000 on the back of a horse up until the wreck. And I broke the same vertebrae in my neck that Christopher Reeves broke. So back then, funny enough, my catchphrase was always, I was stronger than Superman. And now I'm the Medicare Wonder Woman. So
yeah. That's wow. That's an amazing story. So I think that for a lot of people who, I think to me, again, that's inspirational because you already had a path you were going down. You were successful at it and you had all these dreams and aspirations. A life event happened that changed it all in the blink of an eye. And you had to muster up the strength to regroup and go a different path. And even in doing that, you still found success. And from an outsider looking in and just hearing your story, that's incredibly inspirational to know that somebody can do that, because that's where so many people get stuck in life, is that when something difficult happens, when a trial or tribulation happens, they sit there and they wallow in it. And not to say that it's not, that they shouldn't, but I think they let it hold them down too long and they don't continue to move forward when life continues to keep moving forward. How did you do that? How did you muster that strength to be able to change careers?
Well, I mean, I also was in the retail business. I actually had a Western store at the time too, along with my show career. So I still had that, but I wasn't in a good headspace for a long time. I got married a few years later and then that didn't work out and that didn't help my headspace. And then married again and again, did not work out. So I'm on my third marriage, believe it or not. As Nate calls me, he's like, you're a closer. But I've had some amazing highs in my life and some really deep, dark, dirty lows. I mean, I've been all over the place. And at the end of the day, you just have to choose to wake up every day and to be happy and to live the best life you can. I mean, it is a choice. Some people don't think it is, but it absolutely is a choice. And you absolutely 100% can make that choice every day to be happy. And the more times you make that choice, the easier the choice gets to where it becomes second nature and you just maintain a positive outlook on life. But, when you go through stuff like that and, it doesn't come easy at first. You do have to make that choice. But once you start doing it and you start doing it consistently every day, it becomes easier and then it just becomes second nature. And then you live life through a positive lens. And believe me, life is a whole lot better looking through a positive lens than a negative lens. I've been on both sides of it and I much rather, look at the glass half full than half empty. Absolutely.
That's really, I think, an important point that you want to emphasize is that you can make a positive attitude a discipline. That's really what you're saying you did, is that you disciplined yourself to every day wake up and say, you know what, today's going to be a good day or a better day. And you keep doing that over and over and over till eventually it becomes habitual. Now you are a positive person because you've disciplined yourself to be that person.
And, I was the bubbly, happy-go-lucky person as a kid, a young adult. And then I still had that at times, but, it was more of a roller coaster. I lost it. So I had to work to get it back. And, I feel like I have it back. I don't say I don't have bad days, or I don't look at a picture on the wall and reminisce of the day, I won the world, when I was 16 years old. It happens, but, you got to look at the positive. And right now, my life is going so well. I'm so blessed to be in this business. I'm so blessed to have met so many amazing people in this business and take care of our clients. And I mean, what else is there to life, Eric? I mean, have a family, raise your children, help people, be happy. I mean, whether you make, 50,000, 100,000 or 10 million, but at the end of the day, that's just money.
Yeah.
Living a happy, healthy, positive life and impacting people's lives means so much more than anything else.
Yes, I agree so much. There's sometimes in our pursuits of trying to grow our careers and our pursuits of trying to grow our business, which eventually means earning more money, sometimes we can lose sight of that, which is most important, which is going to be our family and more of our experiences, right? Because the money is just a tool, and it's not the end goal. It's used to be a tool to enjoy experiences with your family, enjoy the love of your family, to have the freedom we're looking for, to be able to be with our family when they need us the most. And I'm always reminded of that. In fact, I just had a friend who passed away last Friday, and it was sudden, dying of cancer, and to see how rapidly she deteriorated. But it always humbles me to remember that the pursuit of what we're doing, it's really, like you said, it's for our family and it's to help others. And it's important to help others because it gives you that feeling of accomplishment that we all, I think, are searching for.
Absolutely. I mean, because when your heart is full, you're going to be happy. I mean, you just can't help but be happy. So fill your heart, whatever it takes to do that for you, and the rest will be there.
Amen. Rebecca, we're going to leave on this positive note because this is some great advice that we're talking about. And I just want to thank you again. And I want to remind everybody that if you're at 8%, Rebecca will have a breakout session Sunday at 8 a.m., you said?
Yes. Make
sure to be there. And also, if you're not a member of Club WIIN, if you're a lady who's looking for support in this industry, it sounds like Rebecca has the club of clubs that you should be joining. There's going to be a lot of great training, a lot of great support, and a lot of women who are just building each other up in this industry, which is amazing to see. And make sure to get her book. So if you're at 8%, she'll have a book you can buy there. I'll be buying mine. If you are on Amazon, you can buy it as well and have it delivered. Make sure you're an Amazon Prime member too. Free 2-day shipping. So thanks again, Rebecca, for coming on today. And we hope to talk again soon. If not, but I am going to definitely see you at 8%.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you guys, everybody take care, and we'll see you on the next video.
Hey, thanks for watching the podcast. If you like the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you can get notified when more new content comes out. We'll see you on the next one.